Hey, I'm just gonna make a quick video here. I've had a few people ask me about a homemade pop-off gauge that I made for diaphragm style carburetor for adjusting the spring on the needle valve. It's pretty simple. I made it for about maybe, I think it was $17 or $18 worth of parts at the local hardware store. Any hardware store should have all of this stuff. So in my case, I just didn't want to wait for one to be shipped to me, and also it turns out I got to get one for a little cheaper. So I'll show you the parts here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You don't even need any special tools. Honestly, if you had 2 pair of pliers, you could put it together. So here we go. Okay, so this is my pop-off gauge. It's very simple. It's just a few parts. Here's what you need to go buy. I'll start from the left here. This is a roll of Teflon thread tape. If you have this already, you don't have to buy a new one. It hardly takes any, but you can buy that. That's maybe $1 or something. This right here, this is probably the most unique piece, but this is a Schrader valve. It's the same thing that's on a normal bike tire or whatever, but it's made for plumbing. Now, you usually find that in the hardware store in the section where they have supplies for water systems, like pressure tanks and wells and things like that. What this is used for is blowing air into water lines in a house if you're trying to blow the water out for winter or anything like that. So you need that, and the important part is that the thread size on it is 1/4 inch NPT. That is National Pipe Thread. All these pieces here, that's the important part. They have to match. They have to have the thread size 1/4 inch NPT. So you get your Schrader valve with one. Then this middle one is a T. So this is all one piece, this brass section. This is brass T, is what it's called, TEE. It has 1/4 inch NPT fittings on all 3 sides. So that's a very common part. You'll find that easily. On this side over here, it's a 1/4 inch NPT thread going to a 1/4 inch hose barb. And that is what connects to your piece of 1/4 inch fuel line. So I have like a foot or 18 inches of that on there. Now on the top here, you have your pressure gauge. This is the one you got to be a little careful of 2 things. Once again, of course, the 1/4 inch NPT thread size. You'll see and find a lot of them that have 1/2 inch. That's not going to work for you. You got to get the 1/4 inch so it matches your T valve, your T fitting. Now, on the gauge, you also want to find one that has a smaller pressure range. Like this one goes to 60 psi. You don't want to get one from the air compressor section that has a gauge that goes up to like 200 psi or something like that, because you're trying to dial it in a little closer. For instance, on my carb, which is a Walbro WB37, my goal is to get it at 18 psi. So I'm trying to get it right there at 18 psi. If my gauge went all the way up to 200, it would be impossible to be that accurate. So just look for one that only goes up this high. I found this in the section where there's sprayers for like spraying chemicals on your yard. There may be other areas too, but that's where I found mine. And that was like $6 or something like that. So this whole thing should be under 20 bucks for you, especially if you have your own Teflon tape already, and you might even have a scrap of hose. But even if you go buy every single thing, you're gonna not spend a lot of money, and it'll be less than what you buy one for pre-made on the internet. Now the only caveat is this one, you have to have something to induce pressure into this valve. But almost everybody has a bicycle tire pump laying around, so that's what I use to pump it up. I'll show you how it works here in a second, but it's very simple. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to use it with your pump. So I just have a regular old bicycle tire pump here, and I'm going to pump up. So you take your Schrader valve, mine has a little cap on it, yours may not, but I keep it on there to keep it protected. Now you hook it up just like you hook up a bike tire to whatever pump you have. Now you connect this end to your carburetor where your fuel line goes in. Now I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. There's lots of good videos online about how to adjust the pop-off pressure of your carb. So I'm not going to get into that detail. So I'm just going to plug this over with my finger right now so you can watch this gauge go up. So if I had this on a carburetor, I'd be pumping like this and hoping that when it gets about to 18, it'll pop off. And that's all you have to do. That's the whole entire thing. So enjoy. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Either myself or somebody else who's watching is going to give you what you need. So please subscribe if you like it and tune in for some fun videos.